Everybody, coming to you tonight with a problem from the most recent SMO Open. Now this turned out, in my opinion, is a little bit easier than a problem one would normally see in the open section. Um, but anyway, we're supposed to compute this 92 term sum. Okay, so we're supposed to compute S. S stands for sum, I guess, or series. Now the most prominent thing about this is that if you understand 1 to be the same thing as 1 over 1, each of the denominators is a triangular number, meaning the sum is, let's see here, what do we have? The well-known formula is n times n plus 1 over 2. So each of the denominators are in this form, okay? And like, for example, if for 1, trivially, you get 2 over 2, which is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, okay? So if you put 2 in here, you get 2 times 6 over 2 is 3. So this closed form can replace each of these individual denominators, and that's what we do on the very next line here. And I rewrote it this time slightly more compactly using summation notation. And I use this guy right here. I used i's for the index of the summation. And this is all mainly just algebra. All I did was invert and multiply this fraction to write it like this. The 2 comes out. It's a constant with respect to the summation index. So we can bring the 2 outside. And this is kind of a famous result. This 1 over I times I plus 1 is what they call telescoping. And many of you, I'm sure, this is a very popular sort of result used in calculus, partial fractions, sequences. But you can rewrite this as 1 over I minus the next fraction, so to speak. And again, the algebra here is very easy to perform. If you juxtapose these two denominators, you certainly get I times I plus 1. If you put I plus 1 over here and then subtract I, you get 1, right? So this is very rudimentary algebra to get from here to here. But the reason why that's important is because we can rewrite this series. We literally replace this with what it's equal to algebraically right here. Okay, yeah. So hopefully from here to here is very, very clear based on this notation right here. And so right here, this first pair of terms would just correspond to I equals 1. Okay. Okay. This next pair of terms would correspond to I equals 2. Okay, and of course this next pair of terms, right? Let's see, what do we got? I equals 1 for this, I equals 2 for this, I equals 3 for this. But what we notice is that we get a pairwise cancellation. Okay, in other words, these two guys cancel all the way across, right? And so what happens at the very end of all this, all you're left with is the first term and the last term. Everything else cancels in pairs, and hence the name telescoping. All right, so we have 2 times 1 minus the very last term. Got it, folks? Okay. And so, it's just mass cancellation. And this would correspond right here, this very last term is, the very last pair of terms is the I equals to 92 index. Okay? And it just works out that way, that 1 survives all of this and minus 1/93 survives all this. Now, with this calculation is straightforward enough. This would be equal to 2 times 93 minus 1 over 93, right? Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, 93 minus 1 is 92. 2 times 92 is 184. And so our solution to this, our computation here is 184 divided by 93. Okay, did I fit on the screen there? Yep. 184 over 93. And let me get that circled. Make sure I did the calculation. 93 over 93 is certainly 1. 93 minus 1 is 92. 2 times 92 is 184. Okay, so that's the solution, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sum of that series. And again, I thought it was a little easier than a normal open. Notice this is an open. You know what I mean? Open is, they have the junior and the senior, and the open is supposed to be the most challenging. I don't know if this was kind of a warm-up, but this was still just early. It's a 25 question exam, and this was just problem 2. But in any event, the only thing that, I mean, like I say, there wasn't much to this. It's very straightforward in my opinion. But anyway, it is a 25 question test, so I guess they deserve some easy ones. Okay, so let's write. Let me go ahead and write this. 184 over 93. We'll write it up here for you if you want. So this does equal to 184 divided by 93. Okay, thanks for viewing.